Virginia Tech, a once great and proud football program, has fallen on hard times. In today's video, we are going to be fixing that, because any team that rushes the field to enter Sandman deserves much better. The European minds simply cannot comprehend what we just witnessed. In efforts to restore the program's former glory, they have went out and hired someone who has that dog in him. That man being former Virginia Tech legend Michael Vick. With it coming as a surprise hire, almost like Deion Sanders to Colorado, Mike Vick, if anything, while being an unproven play caller, can recruit with the brand, with the name, Michael Vick being an icon for so many years, so many of these kids' childhoods spent watching Michael Vick. He is going to be able to land some top talent in the country at the bare minimum. And talent being a major thing that this Hokies roster needs, considering its best player is Ali Jennings, senior 6'3" receiver at a whopping 88 overall. As well as talent being limited at the quarterback position itself, Kyron Drones is going to be Michael Vick's starter for this season, who doesn't exactly fit Michael Vick's kind of play style, but he's going to have to do, especially with a schedule that starts off against Alabama, the Crimson Tide in game one, and it doesn't get easier. You've got Louisville, Marshall, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Pittsburgh, Wake Forest, Boston College, rival Miami, and finishing out against in-state rival Virginia. Starting out the schedule with a team like Alabama is no easy task, but we're going to go ahead and simulate this and leave it up to the sim engine, and we actually hang in there pretty close in Mike Vick's first game coaching, 34-41. Then opening up ACC conference play at Louisville. Let's see if we can pull off the road victory, and it's going to be another overtime game for Michael Vick. This team plays with heart if it plays with nothing else. Ahead of me jumping into this game versus North Carolina, we lost to Georgia Tech to fall to 2-3 in the season, but there was one bright spot that came out of it, and it was going to be 69 overall wide receiver Sean Wright has committed to the program, landing Mike Vick his first recruit at a whopping 4-star. So a solid first recruit. We come in at a whopping 83 overall, so we're a little bit outclassed by the Tar Heels, but we hope Lane Stadium can provide the home field advantage we need. Here on 4th and inches, this is the biggest play of the first quarter, and we're going to be able to pick up the first down. Kyron Drones on the quarterback sneak. We're going to roll out. This is going to be a huge play right here from Kyron Drones, 19-yard carry to get us inside the 5. Here on 2nd and goal, we're going to be going with the read option. We're going to try and make Mike Vick proud with the ground game, and we're going to get into the end zone and strike first here against North Carolina. Oh, what a dot to the corner of the end zone. I mean, just a beautiful throw from Kyron Drones. He's played horrible in this game, but he's got it within a 1-score ball game. We just needed the defense to hold up, and the defense did not. With 1 minute and 27 seconds left, this game is likely over. Even playing it close until the 4th quarter, Kyron Drones with 4 interceptions is pretty much going to be one of the direct causes of us losing this game. Just an abysmal performance from the quarterback. Despite the loss to North Carolina, we did get 4 recruits in that week, and we got some okay-ish. They were minimum visits on the other guys. We had another major visit week up against the Hurricanes. I did not hop into this one because I had faith in our team because we're streaky. And with that, we've got some recruits that are ready to visit, and we got 2 new receivers in Alexis Fields and Lionel Jackson. Leon Jackson, John Mills, and Clint Jack are all now ready to visit. Simulated a little bit more, and we've got some more major recruits in Brian Owens, Leon Jackson, John Mills, and Shane Williams, the tight end. Adam Leonard and Jordan Koch are ready to visit as well. Coming in year 1 at the end, we went 7-5, 5-4 in conference play, 4-2 within our own division, and there was a 4-way tie for 2nd in our division, but it's going to be Clemson and number 2 North Carolina matching up in the ACC Championship. Overall, not a terrible first season. And can't forget to leave out the stats for this season. Kyron Drones, sophomore quarterback, 3,300 yards, 30 touchdowns, 18 picks, 47% completion percentage is absolutely abysmal, but statistically it wasn't a terrible season. besides that completion percentage. Now, 7 touchdowns and 624 yards on the ground for Kyron Drones. Not bad, but Malachi Thomas is a talented starting running back. We need to get him more attempts. Ali Jennings, who we're going to greatly miss, he was a Biletnikoff finalist. Almost 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns for him. Offensive line play, it was a little weak this year, but a lot of these guys being underclassmen, we're going to be getting them back for next year, so we're going to have a strong offensive line for years to come. Defensively, we had a ton of tackles for loss, a good amount of sacks as well. Interception numbers, you'd like to be a little bit higher, but when you've got someone like Mansour Delane, who is going to develop over the process of this rebuild, you can expect more interceptions to come. Coming into players leaving, we have multiple freshmen that want to transfer, and we were going to see if we could lie to them a little bit and keep them in the building, but they're just all saying deuces to us. We might have one. Nope. They're all going to be leaving. Ali Jennings is headed to the NFL draft, and we have a ton of players graduating. Coming in for National Signing Day, we're going to be putting 5,000 points on Clinton Jack, 5 on Steve Williams, 4,600 on Joel Wallace. He's a 6'5", 85 speed safety. He's a 3-star guy, but he looks very talented. Kyle Bell, we're putting 5,000 on as a 77 overall, 6'8", 327-pound gem of a tackle. He moves well. This dude is a freak. And then we're putting on 5 on Chase Marshall. We don't need a punter, but this could stop me from not recruiting one in the future. Coming into signing day, we missed out on Joel Wallace, the safety, and we missed out on the punter, but we did pick up Kyle Bell and Clint Jack, which is going to be a huge boost to our offensive line, gaining us a top 25 class, and I'm quite curious what that actually might be. That's going to be number 17 in the country, and to be honest, first year for Michael Vick, that is an impressive recruiting class. The conferences are going to look much different in 2025, more so like this. Although the ACC is not going to have divisions, we just unfortunately have to work within the structure of NCAA 14. But, you know, it just kind of is what it is. NCAA 25 will be out very, very soon. Next summer, I believe. That's the goal. That's what we're hoping for. Also, just a little shout in the middle of this video, because I didn't say it at the beginning, because I didn't want to sound like an attention crybaby or whatever you want to call me. But if you have not already, consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like on the video, commenting down below what rebuilds you'd want to see next. We are trying to grow this thing before NCAA 20. Our year 2 schedule is not going to get any easier than year 1, starting out at number 3 Notre Dame. We've got Nevada, NC State, SMU, Stanford, Miami, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Cal, new member of the conference. We're going to get a little jet lag flying across the entire country. Tulsa, North Carolina, and then we're ending the season out against Virginia. Here in year 2, one of the top athletes in the nation, Daryl Prater, is located in Virginia, and he wants to be a Hokie. With 87 speed and 89 throw power, we might have found our quarterback of the future. In year 2, we are sitting at an 86 overall, a little bit higher than I anticipated, but it's only up from here. Ahead of a game against the Miami Hurricanes, a rival to this school, we have a ton of visits coming into Lane Stadium this week. He threw for 7 touchdowns last week? That is ridiculous. Oh, that's a huge play. That's a huge play. Way to slip out of that, Malachi Thomas. This is our second drive of the game right here. Miami did take a 7-0 lead on us. They're just a good team. Here on 3rd and 7, we've got one of the biggest third downs of the entire half. We're trying to just pick it up. Something's got to get open. Nothing's going to get open whatsoever. And it's going to be a fumble, but we're going to get the football back. 4th and 4 here. We're going to be going for it on 4th and 4 right here, looking for anything to get open. When we've got the out route over there, it's going to be Green, Aiden Green with 11. Here on 1st and goal, we're going to be trying to tie the football game. We're running it right up the middle. Malachi Thomas throws him to the ground, and we're going to be able to tie this one up. Oh, it's going to be a beautiful throw to the outside to Green. He's going to get past the 40 right there. Aiden Green with a huge reception. Aiden Green, the man of the drive right here, getting us inside the 1-yard line. 4th and goal on the 1. There's only one play to call. It's going over the top with Kyron Drones picking up the touchdown and taking the lead before half in this one. Headed into the 4th quarter, we have a touchdown lead over Miami. And we're going to get it into the end zone to make it 21-7 with only 2 minutes left in this one. This might be over, and Michael Vick might have put himself on the map. Miami drove it down the field and scored a touchdown on their last drive, leaving us to just need a first down to put this game away. And Kyron Drones might already have it right here, and he does. And that's going to do it. The first huge upset of Michael Vick's coaching career. We are able to beat the Miami Hurricanes, who was ranked number 16 in the country, with so many prospects visiting, beating a rival school, having a good day through the air with Kyron Drones, a good day on the ground with Malachi Thomas. This could be a huge kickstart and jumpstart to the program. And after a game like that, we get 5 commits. Actually, no, I think that's more than 5. I don't know. I'm not good at math. Actually, that is 5. Daryl Prater joins the team, 81 overall quarterback. He was a scrambling archetype, if you will, and he knew where he needed to be. He knew who could coach him up. In week 8, we pulled off a massive upset. It was number 8 in the country, Georgia Tech. We beat them pretty much 50-24. We doubled their score. That is just ridiculous by this team in year 2. But 2 good things cannot happen in a row as we lose 42-20 to Cal. Here in week 11, we're presented with an opportunity that I cannot pass up, and we're going to hop into this game going into Chapel Hill, trying to upset the number 2 North Carolina Tar Heels. Here on 2nd and goal, we're going to run a read option and try and punch this thing in to tie the football game, and we're going to be able to. Kyron Drones picks up another touchdown on what's actually becoming a Heisman campaign. Here on 2nd and goal, we've got an opportunity to put this thing into the end zone, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take the lead over North Carolina with Dwayne Lofton on a beautiful zig route into the end zone. Oh, that's going to be a huge play to Dwayne Lofton. I don't know that he can outrun him, but that's going to be a 53-yard reception right there for Dwayne Lofton on the comeback. And that's going to be into the end zone. Tucker Holloway with a 9-yard touchdown reception right there. And that's going to be a touchdown to Aiden Green to further the lead right there. It's 28-13. It's going to be 29-13 after the PAT. North Carolina might be out of this one. Oh my, Kyron Drones, what a read option right there to take it all the way inside the red zone. What a play, and that is going to be the dagger to be able to upset number 2 North Carolina. Virginia Tech is becoming the upset kings. Coming into the final game of the season, we're playing Virginia, and I'm not going to hop into this one. I'm going to trust the team. Kyron Drones is a Heisman candidate, 40-27 to get a 10-2 season, and likely a bid into the conference championship. Our win over in-state rival Virginia secured us a bid into the ACC championship, where we will be taking on the Florida State Seminoles. They still have Jordan Travis. I'm expecting this to be a good one, and this could be a championship for Mike Vick in year 2. That is just ridiculous. I did not anticipate this level of success this fast. Oh, that's a huge catch by Aiden Green. Aiden Green, come on. Hustle it, hustle it, hustle it. Get to the end zone. Aiden Green starting things out after we got an interception to get a 54-yard touchdown. Kyron Drones breaks his own record for passing touchdowns in a season with that one. Here are under 2 minutes left in the first half. Misfortune has just absolutely struck this team. We fumbled on a kickoff that I simmed, and Florida State has just been virtually impossible to stop. Kyron Drones has completed 1 pass this game. Make that 2 to Aiden Green. 33-yard reception. That's his 2nd completion. Apparently, we just got to throw it to Aiden Green for the rest of the day. Aiden Green is into the end zone. We're going to cut their lead in half. We're still going to be down by 2 scores, but we need the defense to get some stops, make some stands, and try and keep us in this one. Oh, that's going to be a huge reception by Aiden Green. Aiden Green is absolutely the player of this game right here. Pretty much every completed pass has gone to Aiden Green, and he's going to have another touchdown in this one. Oh, that's going to go to Lofton. Lofton's going to have all the space in the world. He just has one man to beat into the end zone. Dwayne Lofton, this is a tie ball game. It has been an air attack. We haven't hit the ground hardly at all because we had such a deficit to dig ourselves out of, and wow. Dwayne Lofton, what a catch for 34 yards. This team, if anything, it's got a heart, and they just keep fighting and keep fighting. Aiden Green into the end zone. That's going to be a touchdown. It's going to make it a one-score ball game. Aiden Green, the freshman, this kid is special. Aiden Green over the middle. That's going to be a huge 24-yard reception. I hate to keep feeding the man and make it look like he's the only receiver on the team, but here it is. We are on the 1-yard line. We're going with the quarterback sneak. We're going to hop over. Kyron Drones is into the end zone. We got to get the football back. We've got 3 timeouts, a little under 3 minutes left to go in this one. If we can get the football back, it'll be time to lead a game-winning drive. Get into the end zone. Kyron Drones is into the end zone on the option. 21 seconds left to play in this one. It's all going to come down to the onside kick. And we don't recover it, so Florida State's going to win the game. Oh, that's a painful one. This might just be a rebuild dynasty, but I feel that one in the soul. Coming into players leaving, we have a ton of seniors graduating. We convinced Malachi Thomas to stay, that he'll be a first-round pick next year, which is possible. CJ McCray, Peter Moore, the punter, just a lot of seniors leaving, a lot of impact guys, Caden Moore, Parker Clements, right tackle. It's brutal to see them go, but we're building to get brighter, just better. This is how we will be spending the rest of our points. It will be on Tyler Winston, who is an athlete. Brian Thomas, number 8 scrambling quarterback in the nation with 88 speed and 85 throw power, plus 6 gym. This dude looks like an absolute stud. Justin Jones, wide receiver out of Utah, 85 speed with 96 acceleration. You know how important acceleration is in this game. Ricky Hooper, 4-star defensive end, will be getting the other 1,000. And just like that, every single last one of them committed. That is a beautiful thing. We got a top 5 class. A look ahead at the schedule for year 3. We're going to be playing East Carolina at their house. Full conference schedule ahead. Boston College at their house. And then Old Dominion is coming to Lane Stadium. We've got North Carolina, Cal, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, Miami, Stanford, SMU, Pittsburgh as the ACC schedule. So we have used the Saban factor to get Joey Jean, an 80 overall 5-star wide receiver. He saw the things Aiden Green was doing, and he said, I need to be a part of that. Our overall here in year 3 is a solid 90 overall. It's going to be up to Kyron Drones to really carry this team, though, here in year 3. And oh boy, is it off to a bad start losing to ECU. Coming in after the Stanford game, we have a ton of commits. Jason Williams, Ricky Thomas, Eddie Mason, William Burke, Tucker Fountain, Bernard Brooks. I mean, a ton of commits. We got a 5-star in there. And the moment of truth truly is coming in here to check the safety, Brian Perry. And we are in the lead for him. We need him to sign already because North Carolina's right on our ass for him. And he's somebody we would really, really like to have. Coming into week 8, we're going up against number 8 Cal. We've got another huge visit week. We've got Stephen Carroll, Jeff Fuller, and Jimmy Pearson coming into the building. It's going to be another night game at Lane Stadium up against Cal, who is somehow in the top 10 in the country. Here on 4th and goal, the Cal defense has stood strong until now. Daryl Prater, the true freshman, catches the touchdown with no gloves. Well, that's a beautiful throw to Gus Snell to get into the end zone. 21-0 over the Cal Golden Bears. Wow, what a fight from Malachi Thomas to pick up the first down, and that should do it. And then after the upset, we get upset 31-41 by Boston College. And then we lose at home to North Carolina 52-45. That's just a brutal stretch to start going on towards the end of the season. Finishing the season out, we blew out our in-state rivals 63-17. We were the number 15 team in the country going into it. And we might be looking at a playoff berth here in year 2, depending on if we can get into the conference championship. And in year 3, we have made the postseason. We're going to be going up against the Texas A&M Aggies. Here on 2nd and 6, we're going over the top. It's going to be Aiden Green. Is he fast enough to beat the A&M defender? And he sure is. Into the end zone. Aiden Green, what a massive touchdown to start this one out. Oh my goodness, Aiden Green, what a play. Aiden Green's going all the way to the end zone again. He just can't be denied as soon as he gets the ball into his hands. What a legend of this video. There's going to be a huge run right here for Kyron Drones, bouncing it to the outside. It's going to be 25 yards on the ground right there for Drones. Here on 1st and goal, we're going to try and punch it in with Malachi Thomas, and that's exactly what we're going to do to go up 23-10 on the Aggies. A&M is knocking on the door late in this one. We're going to have to hold them out, otherwise it could be a Kyron Drones heroic final drive. And we do not hold them out. Ruben Owens is into the end zone for 6. And late in the game, who do you trust the most? It's going to be Aiden Green going into the end zone. You didn't need a 2-minute drill when you've got Aiden Green on the outside just burning his man right there. Here on this final drive, we've got A&M into a 3rd and 21, looking for our defense to get a stop right here. It's going to be one-on-one coverage, and he messed up on the coverage. Micah Tease is going to have a huge gain down the field. Here on 1st and goal, we're looking for some pressure. It's not going to get there, but they gave us 30 seconds to try and drive this thing down. And we're looking for Aiden Green, and we've got him. 17 seconds left in this ball game. It's going to be almost a 40-yard reception. The man has 226 yards on the day. Talk about a Randy Moss stat line for the man. That's not even close to who that was going to. And we're in overtime in our first playoff game ever with head coach Michael Vick after Kyron Drones threw the ball completely like 12 yards away from Aiden Green, who we were throwing to in the end zone. And he does it again. Kyron Drones has put us in a very bad position. We're going to have to stop the Aggies, and with a run like this, it's all over from there. We're going to lose our first playoff game. Oh my God, Kyron, why? Coming in at the end of year 3, players leaving. We've got Mansour Delane and Malachi Thomas off to the draft. And then a bunch of other guys graduating, including Kyron Drones. We've got a freshman here in Quentin Hicks, who we're just going to lie to. Okay, he's going to leave anyways. That's pain because he was the best corner. Also, stats for the season. Kyron Drones. 4,500 yards, 52 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions on a 63% completion percentage. Malachi Thomas, 900 yards and 9 touchdowns. Kyron Drones ran for close to 700 with 3 touchdowns himself. Aiden Green, almost 1,700 yards and 22 touchdowns. The dude's absurd. The dude is absurd. Tackles for loss on the defensive side. Brian Owens, the redshirt freshman, had 23 tackles for loss. Gunnar Givens with 15 sacks. Brian Owens led the team with 8.5. Coming over to interceptions, it was going to be none other than Mansour Delane with 5. But Dante Lovett was right behind him as a sophomore with 3. Ahead of National Signing Day, we're just sticking all 15,000 on Brian Perry to make sure he doesn't go to in-state rival Virginia. He's somebody that we really, really want. A 95 speed, 6'5" free safety. Sign me up any day of the week. I'm tearing that up. After landing him, that awarded us the #1 class in the country, but Texas A&M, the Aggies are right behind us. Also, the quarterback we're going to be rolling with for this season is going to be freshman Brian Thomas. He is going to be my guy purely because he fits Michael Vick's style of offense a little bit better with that 89 speed opposed to Pop Watson with 76. And our schedule for year 4 is set. We're starting out at Texas State, and we've got Pittsburgh, SMU, Stanford, Miami, Wake Forest, Georgia Tech, Cal, Notre Dame is coming to our house since we got to get our get back from year 2. And then North Carolina, Old Dominion, and then in-state rival Virginia. Our first loss of the season comes in week 4. It was our 3rd game of the season. We lose to number 25 ranked SMU at our house. That is brutal, but these are the growing pains of having a freshman quarterback. I don't know how many games I'm going to be jumping into considering the fact that we have a freshman quarterback. In a huge game in conference play, we're going to choke and lose to Miami 41-34. That is a brutal one, but I'm saving the game that I'm hopping into for Notre Dame because we've got one of the best recruits I've ever seen in this game visiting when we play #2 Notre Dame. The recruit we are so worried about ahead of this Notre Dame game is Quentin McCullough, who is either the most elite running back you've ever seen, he's Michael Vick with 95 speed and 90 throw power, or he is the most lockdown corner you've seen in man-to-man with 87 man coverage. He's even got 86 pursuit. The dude is insane, and we're 1,000 points down, so we're going to need to have a big visit week right here against Notre Dame. Here we are hopping into this one. Our offense has slightly regressed from last year, as you would expect, honestly, because we had Kyron Drones, and we moved to a freshman. He is a redshirt freshman, so he's been in the building a little bit, but he hasn't had the play time that Kyron Drones had. So you expect a drop off plus awareness in this game to break your immersion. Awareness is what really, really matters when it comes to things like that. So his awareness not being as high as Kyron Drones is kind of what leads to him not playing as well in simulation. Oh, that's going to be a beautiful full lob over the top. It's Aiden Green. Here he goes. He's already got 1,000 yards in 8 games. The dude is insane. So here we are on a 3rd and 12, and this is just an immersion-breaking moment right here. Before I call this play, there is a corner on Notre Dame's roster named Micah Bell, and that just internally pisses me off. And if you've played Red Dead Redemption 2 before, that will also internally piss you off, but what won't is a bomb down the field to Alexis Fields. Oh, we're going over the middle. It's going to be Traylon Mitchell, the running back, 18-yard touchdown reception. Beautiful play right there by Traylon Mitchell. Oh my goodness. Aiden Green is just incredible. He's just literally incredible. It doesn't matter what I do. Anytime the ball goes his way, he's like a vacuum. It's sucked up no matter what. Oh, that's going to be Traylon Mitchell into the end zone again with his 2nd receiving touchdown on the day. Call him Christian McCaffrey. Man's getting wide open. That's not what I wanted to happen. All right, here in the 4th quarter, we're just going to run the option to get into the end zone and extend the lead by 2 scores over Notre Dame. This has been a pretty solid day for the Hokies on the field out here. Brian Thomas, the freshman quarterback, stud. Aiden Green, greatest receiver of all time. And chew the clock is exactly what we did, walking out of here with a 31-14 victory over the Fighting Irish. Marcus Freeman back-to-back losses on this season. Coming in at the end of the season, well, the end of the regular season, that is, we went 10-2 with a win over our rival Virginia. It sucks that they're just awful, so it's not much of a rivalry in this game. In conference championship week, we're not playing in one. That's just, that's where our conference championship week is at. App State's #4 in the country. I have no idea what's happening. But we're going to check out these regular season stats. Brian Thomas, freshman quarterback, 34 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 54% completion percentage, 3,440 yards. He led the team in rushing with 725 yards and 8 touchdowns. Traylon Mitchell was right behind him as the lead back. And then Kyle Robinson right behind him with almost 500 yards. Aiden Green, he cooled it off a little bit from last season, but almost 1,300 yards and 13 touchdowns for him. Sacks, it wasn't great on the left side of the offensive line with 9, and then the interior was just bad. There's nothing to say about it. Tackles for loss, however, was great. Brian Owens with 29, and then Keyshawn Burgos with 26. Gunnar Givens with 18, and Keaton Wade with 13. Sacks, 8.5, 6.5, 6.5, and 3. Interception numbers, Devin Alves leads the team with 3. Caleb Woodson with 2, and then Mose Phillips with 2 as well. We stack up pretty well against Toledo in this one. They average 42 points per game, and they give up about 30 per game. Pretty much identical to us, but they play Mickey Mouse competition. Let's go put an end to their Cinderella story. Here on the first drive of the game, we've got 1st and goal. And we're just going to give it to the fullback, let him dive right in. Victor Williams in for the first score of the ball game. We had no issues driving the football down the field against Toledo. Oh, it's a beautiful throw over the middle to Aiden Green to pick up 30. Oh, that's ugly. That's ugly, but we get the fumble back. Let's go. Oh, that's going to be a huge touchdown right there to Aiden Green. He's a stud. He's the man of the video at this point. And there it is, Aiden Green into the end zone again to make it 23-7. Here we are on 1st and goal again to try and take a 31-7 lead, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Traylon Mitchell right up the middle. And like I said, this one was going to get ugly. Late heroics in this one from Toledo. They tried to get back into it, but it's still going to be a 38-21 ball game. It was just an easy day for us going up against Toledo. Round 2 has us going up against the Sun Belt's finest, and that's going to be App State here in this one. They are the upset kings of college football, but they're actually favored to win this one, being the number 3 team in the nation, so let's go be the upset. There we go. We are finally back on the board. Traylon Mitchell into the end zone to make it a 7-10 ball game. Oh, that's going to be a huge play for Alexis Fields to get it in the end zone. I went silent because I was like, oh, this is just going to be another play. But no, Alexis Fields got us into the end zone on that one. Oh my goodness, what a catch by Lionel Jackson, the freshman. Wow, he goes up with one hand. He said, Odell Beckham, move over. I got you. Here we go. And then the final minute of the game, we're going to be able to hopefully make the PAT and tie this thing. And it is up, and it's right through. There we go. That's a huge tackle to be able to hold them to a field goal here in overtime. And they're going to miss it. There we go. Into the end zone for a touchdown. And here it is. We got the battle of number 6 versus number 7. We're going up against UCF in this semifinal matchup. Just a weird playoff. We've played Toledo, App State, and UCF. And UCF beat Texas Tech, who was undefeated to get here. If we go to the national championship, it's either going to be Baylor or Penn State. This is a weird playoff. And we're into the end zone. We strike first. That was a very quick drive to start this thing out. 4 for 5 for Brian Thomas. Hopefully he's heating up and doesn't have a bad game like he did last game versus App State. Here we go, fight into the end zone. It's going to be Benji Gosnell with a 20-yard touchdown. There we go, into the end zone to make it 20-7. Just got to make the extra point, get it up to 21-7. But UCF, they're not offering a lot of resistance when it comes to defense. And into the end zone again we go, going up 28-7. Yeah, UCF's defense is just not much of a challenge in this game. And we're lining up to take the final knee in this one. Just go ahead and take it for the extra 50 XP. But yeah, we came out here and we dominated the game from the first snap of the football. And it was just easy the entire way. And we're headed to a national championship with a freshman quarterback. Here it is, our national championship matchup. We're going up against number 1 Penn State. They were the favorites to win this entire thing. And it's time for us to go spoil that. After Penn State fumbled on their first drive, we have perfect opportunity to score on only our second offensive play of the day. And we're into the end zone again to take a 14-0 lead on Penn State. That's what you love to see, coming out here and jumping on them early. And we're going to the end zone. That's going to be a 21-0 lead. Penn State's having a rough one in this national championship. Our defense has absolutely locked them down. They have gotten a total of like 12 yards in the first half. Here early in the fourth quarter, we've got 2 clock on. We're up 21-0. We're just running this ball right up the middle. We're going to take a 28-0 lead. Penn State has been non-competitive, like just no competition whatsoever this entire game. And after picking up the fumble from Penn State, we have our backups in the national championship game. So this one is over. Coming in at the end of the season, because we're going to go to a year 5 to see if we can repeat, Brian Thomas, our freshman All-American quarterback, 4,300 yards, 43 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, 1,000 yards rushing for him with 11 touchdowns. Traylon Mitchell had 12 touchdowns himself. Kyle Robinson, the backup, he had 5 touchdowns and about 600 yards. So we ran the ball particularly well. Aiden Green didn't amass what he had in year 2, I want to say. But Aiden Green's still a pretty good season. Jordan Koch, also a pretty good season. The receiving core was just, it was good. That's what it was. Braylon Moore let up a lot of pressure from the interior. Brian Owens with 35 tackles for loss is about as excessive as it gets. And then the sack numbers were ridiculous. Interception numbers, not too bad either. We had a ton of those. Coming into training results, or not training results, oh, wow. Players leaving. We've got an Old Dominion transfer running back who's just going to leave. That's fine. Xavier Chaplin, Benji Gusnell, Brady Meadows, and Daquan Wright. Well, these 3 off to the draft. Everyone else is graduating. So we're losing practically our entire offensive line. We're picking up a kicker, or we're losing a kicker. I am really dropping the ball right now. We're losing 2 defensive tackles. We're losing a lot, to say the least. And coming over to coach changes, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that we're losing coordinators as well. And we are. We lost both of them. So that's not great. With recruiting, we got Johnny Marshall, the 6'5" free safety, and we got Quentin McCullough, Michael Vick's dream of a quarterback, but we lost out on Clint Franklin to Colorado State. Why would a 5-star defensive tackle, #1 DT in the nation, go to Colorado State? At least go to Florida, man. What are you doing? And we've managed to start out year 5 with a loss after a win. So we're 1-1 to start out the season because we lost to Syracuse, of all teams. We just don't travel well in this game, I feel like. That's really the issue. And back-to-back, we lose to SMU. We have bounced back in this season, and we won the biggest shootout I've ever seen, 62-56 over North Carolina. That's kind of how games always go against North Carolina. And we might have a shot at the 12-team playoff after our abysmal start if we can just win our final 2 games. And we do beat our rival, Virginia, leading us to go undefeated versus Virginia in this entire video, if I'm not mistaken. And that's going to be another 10-win season and potentially a playoff season for head coach Michael Vick. That's a beautiful thing right there with a Heisman contending quarterback. We've built one of the best quarterback rooms I can think of, at least when it comes to mobile quarterbacks. And we're going back to the playoffs. That is if we can beat #1 NC State. Oh, that's a beautiful throw to the end zone. Aiden Green, the man of the video, gets him another touchdown. Oh, Aiden Green, he's got open space. He's just got a few guys to beat. He's not going to do it, but that's going to be a 50-yard reception on a curl route. Oh, Aiden Green is beautiful. He's the NCAA leader in career receiving yards as well. What a ridiculous career for Aiden Green. And they lay off on the curl route, and he's going to get into the end zone again. Aiden Green over the middle. What a catch. And we're going to no-huddle that, and we're just going to try and run the ball right up the middle and see if we can get into the end zone again. We're back to the line. Traylon Mitchell right up the middle, and that's going to give us a 21-10 lead. Let's go. There we go. Traylon Mitchell into the end zone. 7-yard rushing touchdown right there. That entire drive, all we did was just sit there and ground and pound the football. It seems that NC State cannot stop our run. Our offensive line and our running backs are just too good for NC State. So that's what we're going to lean on heavily towards the back end of this game. And why not get another touchdown just for good measure? Go up 35-17 in this one. There's only a minute left. NC State is going down. Sadly, no Heisman for Brian Thomas, however. Coming in at the end of our quarterfinal matchup, we do win versus Colorado. This wasn't a very exciting game, and it was 24-3 at one point, and then they just slowly came back and made it a close game, but it was just a snoozer. It was a bunch of running the football. There was a little bit of passing, but it was more so just a bunch of running the football. In the semifinal, we are taking on Michigan, with the opportunity to get a national championship rematch against Penn State if we can pull out the W in this one. This is going to be a huge game here in Hard Rock Stadium. And we're into the end zone. It's going to be Traylon Mitchell carrying it in. This one's another snoozer, but I figure I'd give you a few highlights from it. It's just been a lot of running the ball. Michigan doesn't have a run defense that can stop us. Coming in at the end of this one, Michigan was just purely no match for Virginia Tech in this one, and we're headed to a second national championship and another matchup against Penn State. Early in this national championship matchup against Penn State, we have leaned on the offensive line heavily and the legs of Kyle Robinson, but right here we're going to jump over the top with Brian Thomas achieving his 50th touchdown on the season, and we're going to take a lead on Penn State in this one. They're on 2nd and goal. We're trying to punch it in to take a 14-0 lead. Kyle Robinson slides on in there. It's going to be 14-0 against Penn State. Can we shut them out in back-to-back years? We're definitely not shutting them out. Late in the 4th quarter right here, we are trying to clock this game out. It's a 7-point ball game. They could very easily get the football back and tie this thing up, but we're going to try and get a couple of first downs and just go ahead and put the ice on this one. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to clock them out, getting back-to-back national championships with Virginia Tech here in today's video. Getting a final look at the stats for this season: 4,400 yards, 51 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a 73% completion percentage with Brian Thomas. Kyle Robinson ran for 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns. Brian Thomas with 808. Traylon Mitchell, he got, relegated to being a backup after the emergence of Kyle Robinson, but he had 8 touchdowns on the ground as well. Aiden Green, the man of the video, the best receiver in college football history, if we dig into it, with over 5,500 yards, over 60, well, actually exactly 60 touchdowns. Yeah, he was absurd, to say the least. Aiden Green is the best receiver in college football history. Offensive line play, it never got great, but it certainly existed. Defensive line play, worse than last year, to say the least, but not terrible. 7.5 sacks and then 7.5 again. Interceptions, nothing like the first few years with Mansour Delane, but we had a few interceptions tossed in there as well. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like on it. Consider subscribing to the channel. Comment down below what rebuilds you would want to see next. And you know what? I appreciate you guys watching. This was a lot of fun. I'm not a Virginia Tech fan, but I do own a lot of Virginia Tech stuff because I'm from the East Tennessee area. And back in, like, I don't know, the time when I lived there, the Volunteers were not good. So Virginia Tech was the team that was pretty good. So it was easy to pick up random t-shirts and random things like that for super, super cheap and, get them handed down in families. So that's why I've been able to embrace the Virginia Tech fandom in the video. But like I said, I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm out.